Again guys, and welcome to episode 24 of D.A.R.C, or Does Anyone Really Care? The mini review series where I'm just doing a quick evaluation of certain cars which the majority of people who play Gran Turismo often overlook. Now, in some cases you've probably bought these cars in the past, and some of you may enjoy using them. But many of you have probably either bought these cars and completely forgot that you own them, maybe you never tuned them to find out what the potential was, or maybe, like me, you just didn't bother buying them. Now in this episode, this really is one of those cars. This epitomises this whole philosophy of this series. It's the Isuzu Piazza, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, I'm going to go with Piazza, EXE Coupe. And this really is one of those cars. It is not a pretty car. It's the kind of car which you'd expect to see on the road and just forget. You know, you wouldn't even notice one if you saw it on the road. But it really is a wolf in sheep's clothing. In fact, it's a wolf in mutton's clothing, because it does not look like a good car. It's very cheap, and it's an Isuzu. I mean, come on, who buys Isuzus to be track cars? Now, people who know of Isuzu, a bit like with Daihatsu, people who really know the company may think, well, actually, I would buy one. But the vast majority of people would just think, Isuzu, it's just a boring Japanese car, who wants to buy one of them? Well, actually, you should want to buy one, because this car happens to be one of the quickest cars for its PP. Now, in its current tune, it's sitting at, surprisingly, just under 500 pp. It's actually 495 pp, which is excellently placed. But this car is really competitive in the 400 pp and 450 pp categories, primarily for top speed. Now, I can't remember which it was, but for either the 400 or 450 pp category, this car can do over 180 miles per hour. Which for that PP is, if not the fastest, it's definitely one of the fastest cars in the game for that PP category. So that alone would make the car worth your attention. But not just that, it's a great car overall, even in its fully tuned form. Now, fully tuned, which is the one you can see here, it puts out 366 brake horsepower, which, let's be honest, isn't really going to turn heads. It's not that amazing amount of power. But it's rear-wheel drive and only weighs 996 kilos with the full weight loss package. So the power-to-weight ratio is over 370 horsepower per tonne, which, if you don't know about power-to-weight, is seriously good. That's like beyond your average hot hatch territory. So it's actually, as we said, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, performance-wise, we said for the 400-450 pp region it does over 180. In this fully tuned form, it does well over 200 miles per hour, which is a lot quicker than it looks, and I'm talking without NOS. So with NOS and with slipstream, it goes far, far faster than 200 miles per hour. And thanks to the fact that, surprisingly, it's rear-wheel drive, it's actually great to handle and can even drift if you want it to. It actually drifts really well because it's rear-wheel drive and there's hardly any weight over the rear end, so it actually makes a really good and unlikely drift car. But to someone like me who doesn't really do that much drifting, it also makes a great track car in general. And it's the kind of car that you can pull out in a lobby that you can almost 100% guarantee nobody else is going to be using, and probably at least 70 or 80% of people don't even have in their garage. So it's got that sleeper car shock value that when you pull out this car, people think, what on earth is that guy doing using that car? But then you beat them in the race with it. Now, I'm not saying that it will beat anything in the 500 pp region. Like I said, it's more competitive in the 400 to 450 pp category. But I don't know, I should think even in its fully tuned form it would still be a very competitive car on certain tracks, especially tracks that require more top speed. So if you haven't tried this car out, it's a 25,000 credit car, so even if you never use it again, it's not exactly a lot of money to potentially waste if you end up not using it. But for those of you who do end up using this car and benefiting from it, 25 grand is a very small price to pay. So if you haven't tried this car, I would strongly recommend that you do so. And that's it for this episode. So I'll see you next time, and as always, thanks for watching.